It's ANAYAH and welcome back to my channel. We wanna celebrate every stress out on me, so I don't need to stress out on me. My mind is in a free fall. Should've yours from time ago. You didn't love me then, but now I do. I used to say I won't never be the girl I was. From the scratch, drop it like confetti. Drop it down, baby, don't need you. So did you say my name like it's my birthday? I don't need you, I don't need you. I want to learn how to do TikToks so bad, but I can't dance. I'll get away with you. It's the bang with you, I'm just trying to get stick, when you drop top, baby, watch out for the Oscar. Hey y'all, it's ANAYAH and I'm back with another video. You like when I say you patient, cause I know you will wait. I've been thinking about it and I really need an intro. Cause like, I watch too many YouTubers and like, I can't steal nobody's intro, but like I need a cool intro too, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I am excited to be back in front of this camera. Like, I'm not even gonna go into that because I'm always having a hard time because I be stressing myself out. I need to stop being such a perfectionist, but like, I can't help it. Anyway, today I am back to do a little Q&A for y'all. We're gonna do a little bit of questions that some of y'all asked me on Instagram, and y'all know how the Q&A works, so let's get it. I'm telling y'all, this is gonna be the part where my intro come in. And then it's just gonna be like, you know, I don't know what the intro gonna be yet, but anyway, so I asked basically for some of my people on Instagram to send me a few questions that they wanted me to talk about for my first little Q&A or whatever, get to know me a little bit more. And I'm just gonna be answering some of those questions for y'all. So we're just gonna get into these questions. Number one that actually got asked a few times was about mental health and kind of just like what I do to, you know, keep my spirits up, keep my vibe up, keep my mental health in check. Because a lot of people on my Instagram actually do know that I struggled a lot with my mental health up until this year, and I speak a lot about how I stepped out of certain patterns and certain ways in my life, and just kind of how I have elevated my spirits and stepped out of a lot of dark places. So a lot of people have asked me multiple times that question, so I'm going to dabble into that just a little bit, because I do want to also get to make another video separately where I speak a little bit about some of the things that I went through leading up to where I am today. I just don't want to start with that right now because I don't want to be the main focus. Speaking of mental health, a lot of my issue was that I allowed the things that happened to me in my life to define my life. And I was just those things that happened to me. And I had to get to a point of realizing that those things are a big role in my life, but they are not ANAYAH. ANAYAH is everything that I built from those things, everything that I built despite of those things. So I just gotta keep checking that the camera is still working because I don't have no storage on my phone no more. So a few things that I will say that I do to keep my mental health in check. First and foremost, for me personally, and this is another thing, I can't really speak for everybody. I can speak from my own personal experiences, but one thing I can say that has helped me the most is first and foremost, understanding my limitations. Not just meaning boundaries, but also my limitations of myself, what I am and am not capable of. What I'm trying to basically say is I had to understand my social battery. A lot of people in my social circle have certain expectations of me that I also realized that up until recently I was always trying to live up to, because I always just felt like people expected me to still be ANAYAH that they used to know, and ANAYAH that was 17, 16, 18, and I'm just not that person anymore. And I feel sometimes like I have to live up to that, or that I have to show that I still hold parts of that, or that I'm not fun if I'm not that. But I am ANAYAH today. I have fully embraced myself, and fully embracing myself, I also understood how a lot of things that I used to do and a lot of ways that I used to have were ways that were outcomes of my trauma, and ways that were outcomes of my lack of self-care, ways that I had because of my depression. And it was really just a lot of, I'll call it cop-outs. It was a lot of ways to not deal with the things that I really needed to deal with myself. And yeah, I come to realize with myself that I have a very short social battery. I can't be social for too long. My bad. I can't be out around people for too long. I can't be at social events and social gatherings and with people that I'm not fully comfortable with or not my soul tribe in my circle for too long. Not because I am mean or bitchy or because I don't like being around people, but because I can only do that for a certain amount of time before my social battery runs out. And then ANAYAH is inside telling me go home now, and then I need to go isolate. I have come to realize that I am extremely introverted and also extremely shy. A lot of people don't see that in me because I like to speak my opinion. I like to voice my opinion on things that I'm passionate about. And also, I can have a lot of fun or seem to be extremely extroverted around the right people, around people that I'm comfortable with. But if I'm not comfortable or if I'm not fully comfortable yet, then I have that social battery that it runs out at some point and I need to go turn back into my little cocoon. Yeah, that is one of the main things that I can say has helped me better my mental health and connect to myself a little bit more is first and foremost understanding my social battery, and that when it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. Also, places that I don't need to be, I don't need to be. That's just the case. Speaking of understanding my social battery, that brings me into my second way of maintaining my mental health, recentering, which is basically for me anything that I do to bring myself back to center, and that can be different for everybody. But to me, I know that I feel most myself when I'm writing. I feel most myself when I'm out in nature. I say out in nature, I mean like camping and in the woods and anywhere that there's water. I feel great around water. I'm a Cancer, that is my element. I noticed that I absolutely love aromatherapy, anything that has to do with smells that are pleasant to me. So I love having candles and incense all day long. I have a candle right now. It calms me, it brings me back to myself. I feel more calm right now sitting here making this video because I have my room smelling how I want it to smell, and I have my little music playing in the back. I love music, extremely connected to music, and I've also come to realize about connecting more to music as in the melodies and less into lyrics, because lyrics go into my brain and create thoughts. I am an overthinker, so I have to be careful of what I allow to come into my brain. I don't watch TV. I don't listen during my daytime to music with lyrics. Now, I still love music with lyrics. I still love regular music. You'll see me listening to music and, you know, on Instagram doing my dances and all of that. But when it comes to being in my home, in my space, Luffy, I have that playing all day. It helps me recenter myself. So that is just a few things that I personally enjoy that bring me back to myself and make me feel most ANAYAH. And also meditating. That's something that I got into recently, I would say over like the past 6 months. At first it was hard for me because I had a hard time silencing my mind. And I also realized that is even more why I needed it, because I put my focus on so many other things. It was very hard for me to find inner balance with myself and to be able to sit down and be alone, because I didn't want to hear my thoughts. I didn't want to hear what was going through my head all the time. Now, since meditating and getting into it more, I want to meditate all the time. Like up in the morning, in the middle of my day, and I will stop doing whatever I'm doing and go find a moment, because it's recentering. And that's also teaching me how to recognize my own voice. So the overthinking isn't as loud anymore. It just sounds like background noise. Same thing to bring me down from where I'm at. I know what ANAYAH sounds like in my head, but I didn't used to know what she sounded like. So that is all something that I have become better at with myself because of learning the art of recentering. Learning, like I said, things that bring you back to your core, whatever it is that makes you feel most free. Something else that actually helped me recenter is once I did get to the point of being able to really recognize my voice in my head, I had to realize that now I have to start speaking to myself. And I noticed that I'm very good at speaking love into others, speaking my mind, speaking my heart. I write passionately. I express myself to my loved ones passionately. And I realized that the way I speak to myself in my head, I speak to myself so shitty. And I had to realize that that is a big part of me being down all the time, because I'm an overthinker. Like I said, thoughts are going to come to my mind all the time. But if I don't know how to differentiate what is the voice of myself and what is the voice of my ego, and if I don't know how to also take the voice of myself and calm myself down, I'm going to find myself getting lost back into that mix. So something that helped me is affirmations. Now, when I discovered affirmations, that was actually something that I got into right away, because since going through my healing process over the past 2-3 years, I have grown to really realize and understand the power of words that I say out my mouth and the words that we speak unto others, which started to change my vocabulary. I used to say bitch a lot to my girlfriends, that used to be like, hey bitch, bitch that. I completely annihilated that from my vocabulary and other words of that sort, because I realized that those aren't just words. We're speaking that into existence. If I call you a bitch, you're gonna show me that bitch. And so I realized I didn't want to be that person, and I didn't want people speaking to me as such. And first it had to start with me. I had to teach through myself. We don't have to speak like that. So actually my sister, when I used to say that to her, she used to be like, goddess. She used to always correct me. So when I got into it, I replaced bitch with goddess. And anytime that it even came to me to say that, I would just replace it with goddess, and then it became a regularity. Now I have learned to really speak love into myself and into others in all type of ways. But like I said, I started to understand the power of the words that we use on the daily. And that also brought me into, like I said, listening to certain lyrics, especially for myself, because I feel what I hear. I noticed that I can't just be listening to any type of lyrics, and I definitely can't be singing them back, because I am speaking that out into the universe. I'm speaking that into myself. I really much believed in the power of the words that we speak to each other. And in my relationship that I was in, it was very important to us to be very mindful of what we say, the words that we say to each other. Especially me as a Cancer. Cancers are very much say what you mean and mean what you say. And I had to realize how much that plays a role into my mental health, how I connect with myself, my relationship with myself. So like I said, that got me into affirmations, and that I was wanting to find just like inner balance with myself. And I guess correct and amend a lot of things that I know that I created in myself or faulted in myself throughout time. So I started to do affirmations. I got on YouTube and started looking for different types of affirmations. Since then, mind you, this was like I said, I think 5-6 months ago. I have not stopped since then. I say affirmations every morning. And now I actually go on Instagram a lot, and I tell people, I know y'all think it's weird to get up in the morning and look in the mirror and tell yourself good morning beautiful, but it's not. It's powerful. And if y'all knew the power that was in it, you would do it all day. That was my initial thought. It was like, what, I'm gonna get up in the mirror and speak to myself, tell myself good morning. So affirmations for me, when I discovered affirmations, I was like, this is a way to address myself first thing in the morning. The first thing I do when I wake up is I am this, I am that. I'm first and foremost talking to me. And then after that, after I do my affirmations, 9 out of 10 I'll meditate as well, unless I'm rushing to shoot or something like that and I don't have time to meditate in the morning. After I do my affirmations, I go in the mirror and I actually tell myself good morning beautiful, good morning Gordon. Like, I love the way I speak to myself. It might sound weird or might feel weird, but now it just comes so naturally. I'll walk past the mirror every time and tell myself, like, you gorgeous, how you feeling today? I kick it with myself, I laugh with myself, I vibe with myself the same way I would get on Instagram and start vibing with my followers on my story. And it has become something that I enjoy so much. I realize no matter what I'm going through at night, when I get up in the morning and I affirm myself, all of that is washed away. I have started my day, first of all, with all the things that I told myself that I am. Yes, so that's something that I really do recommend. There is nothing more powerful than waking up every morning and speaking life and love and power and abundance and femininity and masculinity and balance and all of those things into yourself every day. So affirmations, I would say that has been one of the biggest assists to my mental health. It has taught me to love myself and to speak that love into myself. Even at times where I feel a little bit less of that love to myself, I speak it into myself and I feel it. And I noticed that if I can do that with everyone else, I should be able to do that with myself. Another thing that has helped me is alone time. I had to realize that I had a problem being with myself because I used to have, all type of thoughts, and I had to force that on myself. But I'm so happy that I did it, because now valuing the amount that I cherish my personal time, my alone time, I feel like everyone should teach themselves to a certain extent the art of being alone. I go out to eat by myself. I will go to the beach by myself. And at first it was a little weird for me, which is so crazy, right? That we don't really know how to be with ourselves. So I realized that there's a lot of power in that because it removes issues of codependency. And for me, a big issue was my huge amount of codependency. It just became overbearing because it gets to the point where when you don't have, you feel broken, you feel alone, you feel lacking. If you're suffering from depression, it's only going to make it worse. You have to learn to be with yourself, because at some point in time, at some day, even if it's for an hour, you are going to be alone. And when you are alone, you don't want to be afraid of that moment. When you start thinking and when you start feeling what you're feeling, I used to be so fearful of it, living by myself, being by myself. So it's a practice. All of it is just a practice. And now, like I said, I love my alone time. All I want to do is be alone all the time. I don't even want to be bothered. I love it, being by myself, living by myself. Me time, best time. Like another thing that has helped my mental health excel and get better is learning to trust my intuition. Yourself, your feminine energy, which is your intuition, by the way, would never, ever, ever steer you wrong. You would never harm you in no type of way, form, or fashion. Period. So learning to trust yourself and trust your gut when it's telling you that something is wrong is important. Learning to trust your gut when it's telling you that something is right is important. That's another thing. It's not just about when your gut tell you, oh, we don't like this. That is actually even easier to listen to. It's hard sometimes to listen to your gut when your gut is telling you this is right, this feels good, this is great, we enjoy this, because that's when doubts start coming up and you start to get skeptical. Trust your gut, and I'm saying this like it's easy. It's not. Almost 3 years since I have sat down and consciously made a conscious decision to start to heal myself, heal my trauma, heal my wounds, love myself, and awaken my consciousness. I was asleep. So that's what I would say about that. So moving on, power of manifestation. I don't want to go too much into power of manifestation right now, only because that's something that I am so passionate about and feel so powerfully about, because it has changed my life. I would really like to get to speak about that separately, but I'm sure you know what manifestation is. So yeah, when I say by that is actually going into believing in power of manifestation, sitting down and making conscious decisions to manifest your desired life into your existence. Another thing that has also helped me is changing perspective, and I'm gonna end with that on mental health, because that is one of the main things that have helped elevate my life, my spirit, my mental, my emotional, my physical. I have come to realize this year, perspective is everything. Everything. You have to be able to understand and accept your life is according to your perspective, and such as everyone else's. And when you start to change your perspective about certain things, your life will change in certain areas. Your feelings towards certain things will change because you look at it differently. Right, so I'm gonna let that topic go. Other questions that was asked is what makes me happy, which I have already expressed a little bit of it, but love makes me happy. I love love. I love to write about love. I love to read about love. I love to see love. I love to create love. I love to be love. I am love, and everything about love excites me and makes me happy. I love family, my friends' family, my lover's family. I love family orientation. I'm very family oriented, and I had a lot of troubles feeling that family connection in my own family growing up as a child. So that has always, I think, drawn me to love family so much, and just the idea of it. So family, nature, as I said, anything with good smells. I love smells. I love freaking sunflowers and plants. Yeah, I love outdoors, and I love the moon. I love going outside to go see the moon, spend time with the moon. And I love speaking. I mean, I've already kind of expressed, but things that really make me happy is this right now. Speaking my mind, getting to kind of share opinions with other people and hear other people's opinions. I'm always so intrigued and interested in elevating my mind, having different perspectives. So those are things that make me happy, having good conversations, good soul conversations. Definitely. Another question that was asked is what is my motivations or inspirations? My biggest motivation, because I have so many, I would say is myself at 16 versus who I want to be at 26. And what I mean by that is when I look back at my teen years, I am like so I don't really know how to explain that, because I cherish everything that I've went through, because I understand that this is why I am where I am today and who I am today, and it has given me the mindset that I have today. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. Don't get me wrong, I don't regret anything, but I do look back at my past and at my teen years with a lot of pain and a lot of sadness sometimes, and not very proud of who I was and how I handled things and how I went about things, how I carried myself as a teenage girl. So I now, like, since I started going through my healing process, I've had such a drive to be a better woman than I was a young girl, which inspires me to also want to inspire a lot of other young women to not have to go through certain things or try certain things to find out what's on the other end. Not to say that everybody doesn't have to go through their own experiences, but I just feel like it's a lot of things that you don't have to learn firsthand. And I truly believe that, like, when it comes to being a young woman, it ain't, I don't know, it's not easy. It's very important to me to inspire a lot of young women to reach their womanhood in different ways than I reached mine. Yeah, that's a big motivation to me. Being a woman that when like I said, when I'm 26, for example, I'm gonna look back 10 years at 16-year-old Naya. I'm going to be so proud of what I built from that, and also know that 16-year-old Naya is going to be looking up like, I never thought we could become that, but we did. Because she didn't believe it, like, that I could be where I'm at today, speaking how I am today, feeling how I am. As far as inspirations, I am inspired by authenticity. Anything that is authentic, any person, any type of conversations, any type of entertainers or whatever that are authentic. I love authenticity. I love the feeling of just people being their most authentic self. I love it. And I also am very inspired by young entrepreneurs, which is why my YouTube name is Youngtreprenuer. I actually used to call Marseille Martin. I'm inspired by her so much, only because she has done so much for her age, and she used to always, and still always does, inspire me because of how much she does at such a young age. The idea of a young entrepreneur, I think she's like the youngest producer ever. Love it, I love it. And so I used to always call her a youngtrepreneur, and at some point I adopted that onto myself, because that is what I want to be, and I have to manifest that into myself. Or whatever, so I'm gonna go ahead and already just stop right here. But best believe that I will be back with some more Q&As and just some more, you know, get to know me, because these are definitely topics that I'm interested in speaking about. What else can I say? Thank you for watching. I'm happy that you stuck here this long to watch. If you did, I know that means you already pressed the like button and you are already subscribed. And if you didn't, then you subscribe? Okay, hold on. You subscribe? Lit. So, like I said, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here with me and vibing with me. Cue the outro. I'm telling y'all, I need an intro and an outro. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Rain down from the sky, drop like confetti. All eyes on me.